Sorry for the delay. I think it's the first time I've been this late. How's everyone doing? क्या हाल है जनता? But it is cold. This is hot water for the same reason. बहुत ज्यादा गर्मी भाई. बर्थडे हुआ हाँ. क्या कोट वाले बैठे हो क्या? सॉरी मतलब सुपर 30 वाले. हाँ राइट. पुणे कब आउट करते हैं भाई, पूरा इंडिया टूर करते हैं. Someone had a birthday outside. So they cut the cake. Some student only. Yeah. Full screen issue on aberhendexes.com. Sujit. Full screen on aberhendexes.com. We'll add it soon. All right. Let the questions roll. We'll start a little late today. We'll start at 8:15 or so. How are you guys doing? My birthday is on first Feb. Node streams. I see you every time. करते हैं भाई. Will have to be a short class. I have a family emergency. I have to rush back to Chandigarh. Anyways, we didn't have to cover much today. Relationships and one more thing, but we'll do it in a while. Can I add people? See how are people doing? How can you add someone in here? Oh, seems very good. Cool. Yeah. How many of you are feeling anxious about jobs? Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll-driven class and see how people are doing. Are you feeling anxious about when will I get a job? Yes or no? When will I get a job? Yes or no? Are you guys anxious? All right. Oh boy, that's a big number. Wow, that's 90%. All right. Here is my assumption. I think Ankur, can you stop raise hand wala cheese? I'll make you co-host. All right, here is what is happening in the past few years. I'm making a video on it also, but long story short, market is down. It's better this year. Last year was brutal apparently. I have talked to all college people here. And अभी तक जो मुझे समझ आया है कि IITs में अपने रिस्ट्रिक्शन लगा दी कि 6 लाख से किसी को आएगा नहीं. PSC कॉलेजेस में ये हो रहा है कि अभी भी 4 लाख वाले बच्चे तो उठ रहे हैं. मतलब लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर गेटिंग हायर्ड एट 4 LPA व्हाटएवर लाइक इन बल्क. बट वो जो मतलब आई डोंट नो इफ tier 3 colleges ever saw that golden time, but IITs में तो होता ही था golden time. क्या मतलब most of the this thing was most people would get placed in whatever 10-12 तो हो ही जाता था. मतलब 10-12 was very common. उसके बाद की जर्नी इज वेरी डिफरेंट. वैसे मतलब आफ्टर यू गेट इनटू अ जॉब, ग्रोथ रियली डिपेंड्स ऑन तुम्हें कितना CS पसंद है, क्योंकि बहुत लोग चिल हो जाते हैं उसके बाद एंड देन दे स्टे स्टक एट 10-12 13-14-15-16 ऐसे धीरे धीरे बढ़ते हैं. कुछ लोग कहते हैं होता है जो कम से स्टार्ट करते हैं बट बहुत जल्दी ग्रो कर जाते हैं, जिनका इंटरेस्ट होता है. तो एनीवेज दिस इज बिकमिंग अ वेरी इंटरेस्ट ड्रिवन फील्ड. वो तो अब फ्लफ तो चला ही गया. पीपल आर नॉट हियर फॉर कह रहे एवरीवन इज टेक में जाएंगे तो 12 लाख की नौकरी तो लगी जाएगी. तो एज द फ्लफ फेड्स अवे, कल भी मैं क्रिएटर्स की बात कर रहा था तो भी बता रहा था कि हाँ भाई मतलब most creators that you see don't have, like rarely you'll find creators who are actually interested in CS. He also wasn't. तो उसने बोला भाई मैं तो Amazon used to pay a lot, तो मैं गया था XYZ college and then फिर मेरा Amazon हो गया. तो मेरे को हाँ ठीक है, मेरे को कोई और इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, is what he told me. And what I've realized is कि unless of course we see the golden period again and then everyone will flow back into CS. This will keep on happening कि जिनको इंटरेस्ट होगा वो रहते जाएंगे, जिनको नहीं होगा they will eventually see such diminishing results कि अब सबकी 10 की तो नहीं लग रही है इतने कॉमनली. 8 की लग रही है, फिर 6 की लग रही है. मैं एवरेज प्लेसमेंट पूछ रहा था कॉलेजेस की, tier 3 में तो भाई हाईएस्ट ही 6 है, विच वाज वेरी सरप्राइजिंग टू मी. आई डोंट नो इफ इट वाज ऑलवेज लाइक दैट या अब ये है. जिस दिन tier 3 वालों से बात हुई है उन्होंने ये कहा कि हाईएस्ट 8 गई है, विच वाज एन इनसाइट फॉर मी. मुझे लगता था 12 वाले 4 तो होते होंगे या अमेजोन तो आती ही होगी तो कुछ को उठाती होगी. बट अभी मुझे तो पता लग रहा है कि the average placements have gone like this, and this year there has been an uptick. Again, I don't know what the reason is, but ये अभी चल रहा है मोटा मोटा मार्केट में. Oh shit, I did not start recording locally. Let me do that. Audio start recording. So yeah, what I was saying was we'll start at 8:15ish. Let's talk for another 7 minutes. Okay, some level of anxiety is there with a lot of people. I don't think it's with senior people. Actually, senior people are very chill. मैं जितने भी अपने बैचमेट से बात करता हूँ जैसे, and even the person who I met yesterday was from NSIT, लाइक हाफ ऑफ द क्रिएटर्स ऑन यूट्यूब आर फ्रॉम NSIT। तो वो भी ये कह रहा था कि मेरा तो उसने तो मुझे ये इंसाइट दी मुझे कि ऑल ऑफ हिज बैच इज इन द US। शायद 2-3 बंदे हैं जो इंडिया में रुके हैं। आई डोंट नो हाउ राइट इट वाज, लाइक माय बैच 70% इज प्रॉब्ली इन द US, 30% इज इन इंडिया। तो जो 3-4 साल पहले निकल गए थे वो तो काफी चिल है, और उनकी ग्रोथ भी कुछ अलग लेवल पे ही हो रही है। मतलब इस टाइम पे भी 1.7 CR तक के ऑफर्स इंडिया में लोग ले रहे हैं। बट मेरे लिए भी सरप्राइजिंग था, मुझे लगा था मैं ही धुरंधर हूँ कि हाँ 200 के ऑफर एंड आई एम द वन इन माय बैच हु इज डूइंग सो वेल। अपेरेंटली एवरीवन इज। तो सी लेवल पे अर्पित से बात करी, सेम इनसाइट केम कि हाँ गूगल चले जाएंगे, यहाँ चले जाएंगे, वहाँ चले जाएंगे, नॉट अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल एट द टॉप। तो यू विल हैव टू ऑप्टिमाइज फॉर द लॉन्ग गेम, विच इज वेरी ग्रेट थिंग फॉर मी टू से, क्या करो करो होगा होगा इवेंचुअली होगा। बट हाँ जो एचआर बैठी हैं वो भी ये कहती हैं कि 2 to 3 years एक्सपीरियंस हो जाए या 1 year भी एक्सपीरियंस हो जाए तो 12 मांग लो, वरना मत मांगो। फ्रेशर में ये परसेप्शन है जो सॉर्ट ऑफ सही भी है कि उसको आके सिखाना पड़ता है, फिर वो आके सीखता है, 6 महीने सीखता है, उसके बाद आके उसको कुछ होता है। वेरी हार्ड टू चेंज दैट परसेप्शन। बड़ी मुश्किल से मैंने किया है कंपनीज का, जैसे जो हमारे ऊपर कंपनी है उनको मैंने बोला कि सुपर 30 वाले हैं भाई, मतलब 10 से नीचे थोड़ी देंगे। तो फर्स्ट क्लियर वो वॉज कि भाई दे हैव टू रेज अप द रैंक्स एंड प्रेशर है, ये वो। तो नहीं 6 से स्टार्ट करते हैं, 7 से स्टार्ट करते हैं। बाद में मुझे पता चला कि अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल देयर वर्क फॉर इंटर्नशिप्स फॉर अ रियली लॉन्ग टाइम एंड मतलब कन्वर्ट तो बहुत कम होते हैं। मुझे पुश करके बताना पड़ा कि नहीं ये सुपर 30 वाले हैं, एक बार इंटरव्यू तो करो। एंड वो वहां जाके बहुत अच्छा कर भी रहे हैं, मतलब दे आर पेड लेस देन व्हाट देयर वर्थ। बट इट्स वेरी हार्ड टू कन्विंस अ कंपनी कि नहीं ये फ्रेशर है बस इसको आता बहुत है। तो देर आर टू प्रॉब्लम्स हियर, वन कि हाँ फ्रेशर्स डोंट नो मच, व्हिच इज व्हाई ठीक इट मेक्स सेंस फॉर कंपनी टू नॉट हायर एट दैट लेवल। एंड टू के इवन इफ द फ्रेशर नोज अ लॉट, उसमें ऐसा कुछ बंदे को रास्ता निकाल जाते हैं। मतलब मैं बहुत कॉलेज वालों से बात कर रहा हूँ तो जो अच्छे हैं, जैसे सुपर 30 में की 50 लाख की लगी, $65 एक और बंदा उसकी 240 की भी लगी है, वो भी अभी ग्रेजुएट ही हुआ है। मतलब पता नहीं इस साल हुआ है या पिछले साल हुआ था, वन ऑफ दीस, बट उसकी पहली जॉब है ये। तो वो तो निकाल ही रहे हैं। ये मैं तुम्हें एग्जैक्टली और देने के लिए नहीं कह रहा हूँ, मैं बस बता रहा हूँ कि ये चल रहा है, और जहाँ जहाँ मेरे को जो जो इनसाइट मिल रही है मैं बता रहा हूँ यहाँ पे। बट वन थिंग अबाउट दीज पीपल इज के एक तो दे डोंट वांट टू सेटल फॉर लेस। आई थिंक दैट्स द रॉन्ग वो, कि मतलब जो मिल रही ले लो टाइप्स और आगे जाके देखना। पर ये जो बंदे होते हैं जिसकी 240 की लगी है, इसके बारे में मैंने वीडियो बनाई हुई है क्योंकि कोहोर्ट 1 में था, एंड मैंने इस पर वीडियो बना के बोला था कि भाई वो कॉलेज में है और 150 की उसकी एक्सपेक्टेशन है, ये तो नहीं लगेगी। मैंने उसको बैकपैक में भी रेफर किया था, उसका नहीं हुआ था उस टाइम पे, वो कॉलेज में था तब, अब तो शायद आई थिंक ग्रेजुएट कर गया या फाइनल ईयर में। तो उसका ये था कि मैं नहीं लूंगा, मेरे को 100 के तो कम से कम चाहिए, एंड देन ठीक इट वर्कड आउट फॉर हिम। तो इट रियली डिपेंड्स ऑन योर सिचुएशन। मैं तो कहूंगा जो मिल रही ले लो, एंड कोई नहीं रोक रहा तुम्हें जॉब में जाने के बाद मेहनत करने में। जितने भी लोग क्यों जहाँ जहाँ भी लगे सब ये कहते हैं भैया बहुत चिल्ला बहुत चिल्ला है। सरगम से बात कर लो, कहता है भैया 3 घंटे काम करता हूँ, ही फुल टाइम नाउ, ही ऑल्सो ज्वाइन एज अ इंटर्न बिकॉज वो कॉलेज वही सेम कि अरे ये तो कॉलेज में है, तो ये कहाँ फुल टाइम कर पाएगा। बट विद इन 6 months ही इज नाउ फुल टाइम देयर, बट ही ऑल्सो सेज कि 3 घंटे काम करता हूँ। तो यू कैन ऑलवेज फिगर आउट जो भी आपको एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डनरी आउटकम निकालना है। पर अभी जो आउटकम निकलना है मतलब मिल रहा है ले लो। कल मैंने देखा था नंबर्स पर प्रीटी डिसेंट कि हाँ 7 पे स्टार्ट करेंगे विल बी गुड। तो अगर आपको एंजाइटी हो रही है तो यू कैन टू चूज वन ऑफ टू पाथ्स। इस सबसे पहले कोडिंग अच्छे से सीख जाओ। आई थिंक अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर देयर जिनको अभी आती ही नहीं है। तो फॉर देम वेरी क्लियर पाथ ऑफ द रिक्विजिट्स इज जल्दी से खत्म करो यार। जो वीक 20 तक हो रहा है, वीक 20 तक हम लोग मोस्ट प्रॉब्ली नेक्स्ट खत्म कर देंगे। इससे ऊपर कोई नहीं पूछने वाला आपसे इनिशियल इंटरव्यू में। नो वन इज आस्किंग यू मोर देन नेक्स्ट जेस इन इनिशियल इंटरव्यू। इट माइट एक्चुअली बी सरप्राइजिंग टू देम कि TypeScript already, because most code bases are in JavaScript. Same with most people in various companies that they are going. तो तुम्हें आ तो इनफ जाएगा तब तक। उसके बाद भाई ये है कि जो मिल रही ले लो अभी के लिए, एंड नेगोशिएशन बाद में कर लेना, 6 महीने बाद कर लेना, साल बाद कर लेना, एक्सपीरियंस के बाद कर लेना, या अदरवाइज दैट वुड बी माई एडवाइस। बाकी आई एम हैप्पी टू टेक मोर सच सेशंस इफ इट ईजेस यू अप। किसी को कुछ ज्यादा नहीं आता है, सब सीख रहे हैं। वन इनसाइट आई गॉट फ्रॉम सुपर 30 वाज कि भैया थैंकफुली आप एक दिन एक बंदा उसका लेक्चर ले रहा था फास्ट API का, तो उसने कहा भैया उस दिन आप उससे सवाल पूछ रहे थे तो हमें थोड़ा ईज हुआ कि अच्छा भैया अभी पूछ रहे हैं, तो इट इज ओके टू आस्क डाउट्स एंड दैट इज ट्रू। ये तुम्हारा अगर लर्निंग का फेज है तो शर्माओ मत भाई, जितने बेशर्मी से पूछना है पूछो, जितनी बात पूछना है पूछो। TS की हालत खराब करो, दोस्तों की हालत खराब करो, अगर TS रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं कर रहे, कुछ भी करके जो चीज सीखनी है जल्दी से सीखो बेशर्म होके। वीक 20 तक यहाँ खत्म करो, DSA के स्टैंडर्ड खत्म करो और लग जाओ भाई। मैं विद इन 2 months कोहोर्ट 3 में भी HRs को लगा दूंगा। तो वो आपको रीच आउट करना स्टार्ट कर देंगे। उनको क्लियर एक्सपेक्टेशंस बताओ, और दिन के 14-14 लोग वो रेफर कर रही हैं, 2 HRs हैं। तो दिन के 14 लोग रेफर हो रहे हैं, वो पता नहीं मैं कितने कन्वर्ट होंगे कितने नहीं, रेफर हो रहे हैं मतलब उनका नाम जा रहा है कंपनी पे। तो प्लीज पहली नौकरी यहाँ से ले लो या कहीं से भी ले लो, उसके बाद की जर्नी भी, मतलब मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि मैं कहीं जा रहा हूँ, मुझे बता दो, मैं करा दूंगा, या मतलब हम बात कर लेंगे। देयर इज एडवांस, इसके बाद एडवांस सेक्शन ही आने वाला है। बट फॉर दैट फर्स्ट ऑफर, फॉर एवरीवन हु इज लुकिंग फॉर इट, एंशियस फॉर अ जॉब, प्लीज जो मिल रही है ले लेना, एंड थोड़ा हेड डाउन करके मेहनत कर लो। ये तुम्हें पता ही है, ऐसा कुछ है नहीं कि मैं आके एक्स्ट्रा बता रहा हूँ, ये तो मतलब आई थिंक वेरी कॉमन नॉलेज। आई वुड अज्यूम जो यहाँ बैठा है क्लास पे, ही ऑलरेडी नोज दिस। इतने टाइम के बाद अगर आप वीक 16 पे लाइव क्लास में आ रहे हो, तो यू आर ऑलरेडी ahead of a lot of people. The thing about CS is, there are two things that you need. One is hard work, which I would assume most people here are doing, जो अभी लाइव में बैठे हैं एटलीस्ट। सेकंड इज, उसको IQ बुला लो, कि उसको स्पीड ऑफ लर्निंग बुला लो, कि उसको कोर इंटरेस्ट इन CS बुला लो, या बेंट ऑफ माइंड बुला लो, कि यू माइट बी द मोस्ट हार्ड वर्किंग पर्सन येट नॉट बी एबल टू रीच दैट स्पीड ऑफ लर्निंग। तुम्हारा लर्निंग का बहुत लो होगा, तो तुम बहुत मेहनत कर रहे हो, बट तुम ऐसे ग्रो कर रहे हो। कोई और बंदा है जो मेहनत कम कर रहा है पर वो ग्रो ऐसे कर रहा है। तो ये दूसरी चीज है। इसका सोल्यूशन मुझे भी नहीं पता, मतलब इसका सोल्यूशन मैं तो सबको ये कहता हूँ, प्रैक्टिस करते रहो भाई। थोड़ी ब्लाइंड कोडिंग करा करो। ब्लाइंड कोडिंग मतलब कोड किया, ठीक है, बंद कर दिया, डिलीट कर दिया सब, फिर से कोड करने की कोशिश करिए। मोस्ट पीपल गेट स्टक देयर, कि एक बार कर लेंगे देख देख के, समझ समझ के, यूट्यूब देख देख के, या व्हाटएवर, रीडिंग द टॉक्स। सेकंड टाइम, थर्ड टाइम, फोर्थ टाइम जब सेम प्रोजेक्ट को भी कोड करोगे, तो मसल मेमोरी बननी शुरू होगी। आई थिंक दैट इज सुपर अंडररेटेड टू बिकम गुड इंजीनियर। ठीक है, ये एडवाइस थी भाई, मोटी मोटी। 8:15 हो गए, स्टार्ट करते हैं। बहुत लंबी क्लास नहीं होगी, प्रॉब्ली एन आवर। एंड yesterday's class would be a prerequisite to today's class. हमने postgres किया था कल। yesterday we did postgres. Today we'll continue on some mildly advanced concepts on postgres। मैं दिखा देता हूँ एक बार जल्दी से कि क्या क्या टॉपिक्स होंगे। ये चीज हमने थोड़ी किस्तों में कवर करी है इन MongoDB। MongoDB में हमने रिलेशनशिप से क्लास में पढ़े हैं, मतलब ऑफिशियली ड्यूरिंग MongoDB नहीं पढ़े थे। एक ब्रेनली की क्लास में मैंने रिलेशनशिप्स एक्सप्लेन किया। That is one thing we are going to learn today. Second is going to be transactions, and the third thing is going to be joins. ये एक बहुत SQL स्पेसिफिक कॉन्सेप्ट है। अगर तुम SQL की नौकरी भी लगाओगे कल को, मतलब जो प्योर SQL वाली जॉब्स होती हैं, which are नॉट वेरी हाईली पेड, बट वेरी कॉमन क्वेश्चंस दैट आर आस्क्ड देयर इज व्हाट आर जॉइंस, व्हाट आर रिलेशनशिप्स। दैट इज व्हाट वील अंडरस्टैंड टुडे। लेट्स डू अ पोल। अंकुर, कैन यू डू अ पोल? हाउ मेनी ऑफ अस ऑलरेडी नो दिस? किस किस को पता है ऑलरेडी रिलेशनशिप्स क्या होते हैं? रिलेशनशिप्स बता दो बस, ट्रांजैक्शंस तो सिंपल है। Oh, how do you guys already know this? कल तो नंबर बहुत स्क्यूड था, पढ़ लिया था क्या कल? Either way, great. Seems like okay, 63% already knows this. Doesn't mean I'll sprint through it. But that does mean कि don't spend too much time on this class. अब मैं पढ़ाना शुरू कर रहा हूँ। मोटिवेशन आदि कितनी आ गई थी? प्रोजेक्ट देता हूँ एक आधा, रुको। रिलेशनशिप्स वाला और जॉइंस का कोई कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रोजेक्ट दे देता हूँ एक बार जल्दी से। तो जिसको आता है वो वही कर लो यार। नो पॉइंट सिटिंग थ्रू दिस क्लास। A good project to build if you want to learn about relationships might be, yes. A very complex project to build would be something like app.indexdev.com. Why? Because there's a very weird folder structure here. If you go to app.indexdev.com, you will see there is a course inside which there is a folder, orientation, inside which there is a video, but there could be another folder here. If you open a folder, there could be another folder here. There is a very nested structure of how videos are stored in a course. So if you were using MongoDB, you could store it like this in a document that said course ID 1, title full stack course, and folders. Name week 1, and whatever children, which means इसके अंदर क्या क्या है. That would be another, let's say type folder, and name week 1 prerequisites, which could have a bunch of other children inside, which could be videos basically. इस तरीके से आप स्टोर कर सकते हो डेटा को। सॉरी, नेम HTML. I was a little hard to look at. Video URL api.indexdevs.com/video/1.mp4. ऐसा कुछ होगा. This could be the schema if you were using MongoDB. You can store a nested structure like this in MongoDB. NoSQL databases do not restrict you to store data in tables. तो app.100xs.com के लिए it actually makes some sense to use a MongoDB like database because there's such a nested structure. There's a deeply nested structure जिसकी कोई infinitely nesting भी हो सकती है. Week 1, which let's say is of type folder, could have a bunch of children inside. Children being a bunch of other folders, a bunch of other videos. कि हाँ, this is the first folder inside which there is a video, and then there could be a video here as well. Name, HTML, CSS, and type video URL जो भी है. तो it isn't necessary कि 2 level बाद ही आपको videos मिलेंगी. After this level you might go into another folder, after which you might go into another folder जहां पे एक video present होगी. तो there is no end to how nested this can be. This is hard to build in SQL. This is easy to build in NoSQL. तो इसको SQL में लो यार, जिसको relationships थोड़े बहुत समझ आ गए हैं. You will need relationships and foreign keys here. So try to build a simple course selling application with such a deeply nested structure in SQL. That would be my assignment. For everyone who already knows this. For the people who don't, now let's get into understanding relationships and transactions in SQL databases. We have already done this in NoSQL. तो ये थोड़ा similar ही होगा. ऐसा नहीं है कि there is very complicated structure to relationships in SQL compared to NoSQL. बहुत same ही होते हैं. So let's quickly understand them. Relationships let you store data in different tables and relate it with each other. Relate it with each other. Even in NoSQL databases, हमने भी जब to do app बनाई थी, we did not store data in the same table. ऐसा नहीं था कि there was a single users table जहां पे हमने store कर रखा था कि यार name of this user is Harkirat and email of this user is harkirat@gmail.com and folders, sorry, whatever, to-dos, इस बंदे के to-dos ऐसे दिखते हैं. We had not done this. We could have done this. NoSQL का यही benefit है कि you can shove everything in the same database. Very long JSON structure एक document डाल दो. You can do this. There are downsides to doing this. One downside being कि अगर कोई admin है आपकी to-do application का, there is the owner of the to-do application. वो सारे to-dos नहीं निकाल सकता एक तरीके से. उसको सारे users निकालने पड़ेंगे. He will first have to query all the users and then he will get all the to-dos and show them in an admin dashboard. So decomposing data is a good thing. Storing it separately is generally a good thing. But why is this beneficial? This is beneficial क्योंकि एक जगह सब कुछ डल गया है. The schema is very easy to write. That is why, even though this might look like a good way to create a to-do application in MongoDB, ऐसे नहीं बनानी चाहिए. And we did not make it like this either. How did we make it? कि हमने एक users table अलग बनाया. इस user की let's say ID is 1 or whatever, an object ID that looks like this. This is the users table and this was separate from our to-dos table. हमने दोनों को अलग अलग बना रखा था. And in our to-dos table, we were relating data from here to here. Here, if there is an entry in the to-do table that has title or go to gym and time, you have to go to gym at 5 p.m. इस सब के साथ, with all of this, we stored one more thing which was user ID. कि ये to do कौन से यूजर को बिलोंग करता है. This to do is related to which user. This user that you see over here is related to this to do that you see over here. How is it related? Through this user ID field. कि ये user ID field है, that is telling you कि ये इस user के to dos हैं. That is why you were able to do to do model dot find one or find where the user ID is 123123, and this returned you all the to-dos that you had. To do model dot find where user ID is this const to-dos equal to this. ये हम कर पा रहे थे because हमने कुछ तो relationship store किया था. अगर मैं ये ना store करूं, if I don't store this, then we get there is a to do, but कौन से user का है ये नहीं पता. We don't know कौन से user का वो to do है. That is why you need relationships like these. If you are decomposing tables, अगर ये to do को आप यहीं store कर देते user के साथ, then it's a different thing. But if you are storing to dos separately, you have to relate them to the users table somehow. कि ये user ID के basis पे this to do is linked to this user. ये सबको समझ आता है? Let's do a quick poll. ये तो सिंपल है ना, इसमें कुछ कॉम्प्लिकेटेड नहीं है। नो एसक्यूएल में भी अंडरस्टैंड रिलेशनशिप्स। ये सबको समझ आता है, बहुत सिंपल है। माई बैड, माई माइक वॉज बैड, नाउ माई गुड माइक इज ऑन। तो सेम थिंग एसक्यूएल में आपको करनी ही पड़ेगी। एसक्यूएल में यू कैन स्टोर जेसॉन, यू शुडंट। तो एसक्यूएल, इफ यू रिमेंबर, वी लर्नड यस्टरडे कि इट स्टोर्स डेटा इन द फॉर्म ऑफ टेबल्स। एक टेबल बना होता है, मान लो एक यूजर्स टेबल, जहां पे यू हैव अ नेम एंड हैव अ ईमेल एंड हैव अ पासवर्ड। अब करने को यहां कर सकते हो, यू कैन स्टोर द टू डूज ओवर हियर, एंड देयर इज अ टाइप इन SQL called JSONB that lets you store JSON data also, या फिर string के फॉर्म में डाल दो, क्या फर्क पड़ता है इसको, कि create the format of this to be string or text or varchar 10,000 let's say, एंड यहां पे स्टोर करने को कर सकते हो टू डूज कि दिस यूजर has this to do's. But what are the downsides of this? The first downside is same as NoSQL. Click कर तो दोगे, but when an admin wants to find all the to do's, उसको सारे users निकालने पड़ेंगे. He will have to go to this table, get all the users, and then add all the to do's. तब उसको दिखेगा कि अच्छा these are all the to do's that we have. If the admin wants to query how many to do's exist, कि आज तक how many to do's have been made, तो he will first have to get all of these arrays, then we'll have to combine all of these arrays for all the users and find the length of it. Versus अगर टू डूज एक अलग टेबल में होंगे, इफ टू डूज आर इन अ सेपरेट टेबल, देन ही कैन सिंपली डू सेलेक्ट count of star from to do's. He can run this SQL command to get the total number of to do's. That is why this is beneficial over storing it directly over here. You should have a separate table. So if you have a separate table of to do's, again you need to relate the data in the to do's table over here. Here is another example. If you want to store user information, जिसमें यू वांट टू स्टोर एड्रेसेस, कि इस यूजर का ये एड्रेस है, इस यूजर का ये एड्रेस है, और एक यूजर मल्टीपल एड्रेसेस रख सकता है. अ सिंगल यूजर कैन हैव मल्टीपल एड्रेसेस. दैट इज व्हाट हैपेंस ऑन Amazon, राइट? इट गिव्स यू अ लिस्ट ऑफ योर एड्रेसेस. तो यू कांट शव एन एरे ओवर हियर. यू कैन डू इट, यू शुडंट डू इट. तो व्हाट यू डू इज, कि यार यूजर्स टेबल लुक्स लाइक दिस. हरकीरत, रमन, दीज आर टू यूजर्स ओवर हियर, एंड रमन is related to the addresses table by this user ID. कि addresses table में भी है एक एंट्री जिसकी ID is 1, user ID is 2. मतलब this address belongs to this user. Cities, चंडीगढ़, countries, India, street, pin code, so on and so forth. तो addresses table जो है वो related है to this users table through a one to many relationship. One more thing I've introduced, one to many relationship. इसका मतलब है कि one entry over here, one entry in the users table can have many entries over here. A single user can have multiple addresses. That is what a one to many relationship is. You might have done normalization back in college. 1NF, 2NF, BCNF, if you've heard of it. If not, we will also do it eventually. But these relationships that we're talking about, like one to many, many to one, decomposing databases, this is actually a very common question in DBMS. Okay, what normal form is this database in? Is it in one normal form? Is it in two normal form? Is it in BCNF? BC का full form मैं भूल गया. तो you have to, as one common question comes, Sarkirat, how do I do schema design? मुझसे schema design नहीं होता. मुझे application तो मिल जाती है. So I find it really hard to design the schema. So there you can actually use these rules of 1NF, 2NF to figure out कि यार addresses को store करने को यहाँ कर सकते हैं in an array. I shouldn't. I should decompose it into two tables. Second table being related to the first table. This key user ID being related to the ID field over here is what is called a foreign key. What is it called? A foreign key. कि ये जो user ID table है, entry है, it is a foreign key to the ID table over here, field over here. ये इससे related है, and this is how this addresses table is related to the users table. ये Mongo में नहीं होता है. You don't have foreign keys where you specify. You do something in Mongoose if you remember. Mongoose में you define some sort of relationships. But in case of Mongo SQL, you clearly have to tell कि भाई this is a foreign key to this. If you don't do it, अभी काम तो चली जाएगा. ऐसा थोड़ी है कि if you have a user IDs field, it could have numbers over here. But if you don't create a foreign key relationship, if you don't tell SQL कि यार this is related to this, देन आप यहाँ पे कुछ भी डाल सकते हो. यू विल पुट एन एंट्री ओवर हियर विद अ वेरी रैंडम आईडी दैट डज नॉट एग्जिस्ट इन दिस यूजर. जो एंट्री यहाँ पे है, ओनली अ कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग यूजर आईडी एंट्री शुड बी ओवर हियर. अगर देयर इज अ यूजर विद आईडी 1, तो यहाँ पे एक आईडी 1 वाला हो सकता है. यूजर विद आईडी 2 2 हो सकता है. देयर इज नो यूजर विद आईडी 3. यहाँ पे कभी आईडी 3 नहीं आनी चाहिए. वो किसका टू डू है फिर? दैट टू डू बिलोंग्स टू नो वन. एंड हेंस फॉरेन की रिलेशनशिप्स let you enforce this. If you try to make an entry into this database with a user ID set to 5, SQL won't let you. It will say foreign key relationship is not maintained. There is no foreign key. There is no entry in the users table with ID 5. That is why it is a good idea to specify कि ये foreign key है. This user ID is a foreign key to this table. This is called a relationship, which means that the addresses table is related to the users table. And we are defining the table. We define the relationship. हम जब table बनाते हैं, we had created the users table yesterday. This is simple, nothing too complicated here. We have already done it yesterday. When we are creating the addresses table, along with all the entries, here ID is a serial entry, it keeps going up. User ID is an integer which is not null. यहाँ पे मैंने कुछ नहीं लिखा कि this is a foreign key over here. Eventually I will write it. बाकी की सारी fields that exist, pin code, street, so on and so forth. Lastly, I've written foreign key, user ID, references, users table की ID field. User ID जो यहाँ पे है, this user ID, it references users table की ID field. That is what this line of code does. This line of code does what? ये बताता है SQL को कि this is related to this. इस टेबल में don't let the user enter anything that does not exist over here. अगर user with ID 3 does not exist, you should not be able to, the user or the developer should not be able to make an entry over here with ID 3. That is what this line of code enforces. You can totally not write this line of code. चलेगा तो फिर भी this will still work, right? If you do not write this line of code, you can still store whatever user ID over here. But in that case, you can put anything obnoxious over here, user ID 500. But if you add this foreign key constraint, then it will make sure it is a strict relationship. Foreign key, user ID, references, users table key ID field. One extra thing is over here. On delete cascade. What does this line of code mean? Cascade का मतलब क्या होता है कि there is a domino that fell. Also cascade करते करते बहुत सारे dominoes fell. If there is this bottle that falls and इसके आगे there are 20 bottles, this will make the next bottle fall, and करते करते there will be a domino effect. It will cascade to the dominoes. All the dominoes will fall. So on delete cascade means if you ever delete something from here, this delete should cascade and delete all the users or the address entries as well. कि अगर कभी user delete हुआ, then delete all the to-dos as well, delete all the addresses as well. You don't have to keep them. This relationship will become invalid, right? If there is a user with ID 2, and then I delete this user from here, then what will happen? This entry is a very weird dangling entry. So hence, you can tell here on delete cascade, जब भी यहाँ पे कुछ delete हो users table में, at जहां जहां relationship है उस user का, if he has a bunch of to-dos, cascade the delete to them, delete those. If he has a bunch of addresses, cascade the delete to them, delete those as well. What can be other things over here? On delete restrict is another one. On delete restrict says, if the user is trying to delete a user, if the developer is trying to delete an entry over here, restrict them unless there are no relationships. अगर यहां से यहां कोई relationship exist करता है, if this user has an address, don't allow the user to be deleted. The admin, the developer should first delete the address of that user, then delete all the to-dos. It is the developer's responsibility to clean up everything, and only then this user can be deleted, वरना delete नहीं होगा. On delete restrict, अगर आप इसको delete करने की कोशिश करोगे, it will not delete this entry, it will give you an error. Okay, there are already relationships that exist. So first delete those, and only then can you delete this. What should you choose? Depends. If you want to be strict, कि यार गलती से भी अगर user delete हो गया तो सारा delete ना हो जाए data. If a user gets deleted by mistake, we should hopefully not delete everything else. We should first delete everything else, and only then this user entry should be allowed to delete it. Same happens in S3. If you have ever created an S3 bucket, if you don't know S3, that is fine. But if you have ever created an S3 bucket, it doesn't let you delete it. It first asks you, first empty the bucket. अंदर जाके सब सामान खाली करो, delete all the items in the bucket. Only then can you delete the bucket. And similarly, if I had written on delete restrict, then it would have restricted me to delete this entry unless all its foreign relationships were deleted as well. That is how you create a bunch of tables. So let's quickly create them. Let me again go to neon.tech. You don't have to run it locally. Yesterday we created a database, if you remember. I created a class week 17 database. And yahan pe, there was this section called SQL editor. Maybe even before that, let me clean my database. Let me go to tables. And let me delete the tables that I had created today. Drop, and drop. Now I have an empty SQL database, Postgres database. If I go to the SQL editor now, I can paste here. I want to create a users table. I want to create an addresses table. Addresses table should have a foreign key from here to the users table. That is what I've written. Run the query. And now 2 users have been created. Syntax is foreign user ID. There you go. You had to add double quotes over here. This SQL editor is a little weird. When you done it, do it locally, it should work without it as well. But I had to add double quotes over here. Uske baad chal gaya. What have I written? Create a users table. Create an addresses table. Addresses table ka jo user ID field hai, that references users table ka ID field. If you look at tables now, you should have 2 tables in here. A users table and an addresses table. Let me try to add an entry in the addresses table. ID is default. User ID is null. I think you can have null user IDs, so this might work. But let me do this. Let me add a random user ID here. Okay, user ID 123123. जो exist ही नहीं करती है. We don't have any users right now. City, Chandigarh, country, India, so on and so forth. And click on save. Insert or update on address violates the foreign key constraint. This address user ID foreign key constraint is not being met. There is no user that exists with this ID. So ये entry अभी नहीं हो पाएगी. What can you do? You can first create a user. Let me create a fresh user. harkirat@gmail.com. Password. Now I have a user with ID 2. तो अब मैं उसके एड्रेसेस ऐड कर सकता हूं कि यार the user with ID 2 lives in Chandigarh, has a country of India, has a street of whatever, has a pin code of whatever. Save. Null values in city. तो यहां पे पता नहीं क्यों बार-बार null हो जाता है. Their front end is a little messed up. Let's try that one more time. And now I have a valid entry here. This and this are related. What had I written? On delete cascade. So if I delete the user, this delete will cascade to the address. Address bhi delete ho gaya. But if I had created the table by calling on delete restrict, so it wouldn't have let me delete the user. मुझे पहले address delete करना पड़ता. I would have first had to delete the address. Then I would have deleted the user. That is how you create a foreign key in SQL. This is a slightly easier foreign key. You can have more complex foreign keys. You can have multiple entries over here. User ID, city ID belongs to this user table, so on and so forth. So this is just a very simple one-to-many relationship. This is an example. Let's add something to the addresses table. Let's get something from the addresses table. We can do that. We already saw this here. Okay, we added the users manually. If needed, I can also add the users from the SQL editor. Okay, insert. Let me just copy it from here. I can't insert into users, username, comma, password, comma, whatever the third field was, I forgot, email I think, values, जो भी values हैं वहां पे, तो I can do this and run an SQL query to insert a user. Column here does not exist. कुछ simple miss किया मैंने in the SQL query. Insert into addresses this thing, values this thing. Insert into users, username, password. Let's try this. User has been created. User की ID क्या है? 3. So can I create an address as well? Yes, I can. This let me copy from here. Insert into addresses. User ID is 3. New York, USA, their address. Click on run. Address entry has also been made. I have made it from here. Eventually, we will make it from a Node.js application also. Doesn't matter. So we understand hopefully relationships kya hote hain, why are they used. Now there is a very important concept that's coming called joins. Before we get into joins, let's first get into joins. Transactions बाद में हो जाएंगी. Let's do the difficult bit first. ये सबको समझ आया? Relationships we understand. ये तो शायद simple ही था. Maybe before the poll, let me quickly show you how would you do the same thing in a Node.js application. So yesterday, if you remember, we were creating a simple sign up route. Yesterday we created this. Here I am going to create a new Postgres client. Whenever the user clicks on the sign up endpoint, hits the sign up endpoint, I'm going to run this SQL query. This might feel a little jarring to a few. Okay, what is this $1, $2, $3? We have discussed this yesterday, so you should go through that and understand, why we have used this syntax rather than appending these strings one after the other here. But this is the code that we wrote yesterday. How will this change? Okay, I might take the user's address also. Okay, const city equal to rec.body.city. Const country equal to rec.body.country. और क्या क्या था हमारे addresses table में? There was city, there is country, there is street and pin code. So const street equal to rec.body.street. Const pin code equal to rec.body.pin code. That is what, excuse me, that is how I would let the user sign up. कि यार जब तू sign up कर रहा है, when you are signing up, along with username, email and password, let me select a simple password here. Please give me a city also, Chandigarh, a country also, India, street and pin code, a street also, and a pin code, whatever it is. We expect the user to sign up with their address. The question is, how does the backend change? This is inserting it into the users table. I have to insert it into the addresses table also. So you might think, Harkirat, yahi to hoga. Const address insert query equal to insert into address. What are the fields over here? City, country, street, pin code. So city, country, street, pin code, and user ID. User ID field भी तो है address में. It is not user provided. User को थोड़ी पता है उसकी ID क्या है. User is saying I want to sign up. You have to make sure कि यार when the user signs up, whenever this insert query goes, it returns you the ID of the row created. जो भी row आई है उसकी ID क्या है? You somehow get that in the response over here, ताकि you can put it in the address insert. जब आप address row में entry डाल रहे हो, you can take the ID of the user from here. User has just been created. तो जो user just create हुआ है, what is their ID? If we could get that over here, then I could, insert an entry into the addresses table. Const response equal to await pg client dot query address insert query, comma क्या क्या values है? City, rec.body.city, country, street, pin code and the user ID. अब user ID कहां से आएगी? Insert query. Response. Where will the user ID come from? This insert query, when it is run, hopefully returns you something. Let's see. Console.log response. Log करके देख लेते हैं. वैसे तो you can actually go into the types and figure out also. But इसके types बहुत vague होंगे. वही. So let's try to see what does it return. Let's log it over here. Let me start the backend. Again, this is code from yesterday. So, hopefully you already understand this from yesterday's class. Started the backend. Tried to sign up. And देखें जरा क्या entry हुई है. Row count 1, OID 0, rows 0. I don't see anything here. I don't see. क्या इसने डेटा नहीं लौटाया मुझे. It did not return me what the ID is. And I think the way to fix that is you have to write returning ID, something like this. It should return me the ID also. Run the insert query, and the insert query should return you the ID of the newly created user. Let's try it. I could be wrong. So we'll Google it and figure out. Let's see. Duplicate entry. Let's change the username. Let's change the email. Now let's see. Is there an ID that gets returned? There you go. It says, result has a column called fields, which is an array. And the first entry in this field has name ID, table ID, this thing, column ID, this thing, data type ID, this thing, size. I don't see what I want to see here. Let's Google returning in insert query Postgres. Returning ID into, that's fine. होगी तो यही गई. What is the ID of the newly created user? Let's see. Let's go to tables. The newly created user has an ID of 6. I don't see 6 anywhere. Oh, there you go. Rows of 0.id. There we go. यहाँ पे थी. When I added returning ID, so in response.rows of 0.id, I got the ID of the newly created user. ये जो user अभी बना है, उसकी ID ये है. Const user ID is this thing. अब अगर user ID आ गई है, then I can insert it over here. क्या एड्रेस की जो क्वेरी है, where I need to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values. So this will also become $4, $5. Insert into address. Address ही है ना टेबल का नाम. Addresses है. तो insert into addresses. City, country, street, pin code, user ID. Values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are variables in SQL के. ये value store होंगी where $1 translates to this. $2 translates to this, so on and so forth. 1, 2, 3, 4 so we have stored over here. Fifth one is going to be the user ID. That is how you do the address insert. And then you can clearly say you have signed up. Your entry in the users table has happened. Your entry in the addresses table has also happened. This entry is done. This entry is done. Let's see it in action, then I'll take you through the code one more time. Let me sign up as a new user, Harkirat123, with an email, password, city, country, street, pin code, send a response. It says you have signed up. Let me go to the users table here. I see a user with ID 7 and I see an entry in the addresses table for the user with ID 7. In a single query, in a single HTTP request, we created an entry in the users table. We created an entry in the addresses table. क्या ये सबको समझ आ गया? Do we understand this? How we have done inserts from our Node.js backend into the database we're doing 2 inserts over here. Decentish 90%. एक बार जल्दी से रिकैप कर देता हूं कि this HTTP endpoint that we have, we get all the entries from the user. What is their city, country, street, pin code, username, password, email. We insert this into the users table. We get the user ID because मैंने लिखा है returning ID over here कि भाई ID return कर देना जो user बन रहा है. I have their email, password and username here. I don't have their ID. The database will automatically create it. So whatever is that ID, return it to me. I get it in the response variable. I store it in the user's ID over here. And यहाँ पे ऐसे insert into addresses, city, country, street, pin code, user ID. These are the values that I want to insert. ये 5 values मैं यहाँ दे देता हूँ. Addresses table में भी entry हो जाती है. But there is one very big problem in this specific, code. Can you guess? मैं बता देता हूँ. The problem is, what if this query ran, control reached here, then here, यहाँ तक control reach करा. The entry was made in the users table, and for some reason, your backend crashed. Backend can crash for 1,000 reasons. Now you have an entry in the users table. You don't have an entry in the addresses table. You have partially created the user. You have created a user without an entry in the addresses table. Another example might be that this query ran, insert did happen, and then the database had some outage, went down for 10 seconds. So this second query did not happen. In this case also, same problem happened. Ye entry was able to create an entry in the users table. This line did not run, so no entry in the addresses table. That is a problem. Why is that a problem? Because partially आपने user create कर दिया. Users table has an entry, addresses table does not have an entry. How do you avoid this? Another very common example in, a more relevant example for something like this is, if you ever create a Paytm-like application, which we did in cohort 2, वहां पे whenever there is a transaction, what you are really doing is, यार there is a user जिसका बैलेंस आपको घटाना है, there is another user जिसका बैलेंस आपको बढ़ाना है. So you write 2 queries. Const query 1 equal to update user where user ID equal to 1, set balance to be balance minus 10, let's say something like this. And then there is another query where user ID is 2, set balance to be balance plus 10. You run these 2 queries one after the other. पहले बंदे का balance कम कर देना 10 rupees से, and then increase the balance of the other user, or vice versa. You might run this query first, this query next. This is also 2 separate database transactions or database queries. If one of them fails, you have partially sent money to someone. You deducted the balance from one side, did not increase it on the other side. That is a problem. So this is where transactions come into the picture. So पढ़ ही रहे हैं, transactions भी पढ़ लेते हैं, then we'll get into joins. Transactions say, if you have a bunch of queries one after the other, this is query number 1, this is query number 2. If you have to run these queries sequentially, put them in a transaction. Create a transaction. Transaction का मतलब क्या होता है? Transaction तो बहुत चीजें होती हैं वैसे. But transaction, if you're doing a payment transaction, you would assume कि यार ऐसा नहीं होगा कि I got money deducted and the other person did not get money. They should either happen together or neither should happen. If there is a failure, that is fine. It should fail for the both of us. ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि I lost 50 rupees, the other person did not get 50 rupees. Either I lose 50 rupees, other person gets 50 rupees. Or none of us, nothing happens. My balance does not change, their balance does not change. This is where transactions come into the picture. कि अगर ये 2 queries आपको एक के बाद एक रन करनी है, तो don't send them directly to the database. Database को सीधा मत बोलो कि यार query 1 and then query 2. This could lead to, even though it won't happen very often, but बिल्कुल हो सकता है कि यहाँ पे control reached and then your server crashed. So you have an partially created user. To avoid that, आप इन दोनों queries को एक transaction में wrap कर देते हो. What do? You create a transaction. A good question to have at this point is, what queries are run when the server signs up and sends both their information and their address in a single request? पता नहीं स्टेटमेंट का मतलब क्या, बड़ी वेग स्टेटमेंट है. Do we send two different SQL queries to the database? That is what we're doing right now. We send SQL query number 1 to the database. We send SQL query number 2 to the database. This would require, what if one of these queries fails? What if this succeeded, but this failed? This is where transactions come into the picture to ensure either both of the user information or address goes in or neither does. या तो दोनों हो या फिर एक भी ना हो. So even when you are in this SQL editor and sending multiple SQL queries, you can do that. Insert and then do another insert over here. यहाँ पे भी it might happen कि first one succeeds, second one fails for some reason. So what you can do is you can start a transaction by sending begin to the database. This tells the database कि यार a transaction is, I need to start a transaction here. Then do everything you want to do. And then you commit the transaction. What is the last thing you do? You commit the transaction. Just by adding these two lines of code, okay, I want to begin a transaction and then do SQL query 1 and then do SQL query 2 and then commit the transaction. What happens is, अब the database knows that this is a transaction. These are two SQL queries that need to run in a transaction. Either both of them need to run or neither of them needs to run. So अब अगर either one of these fails, the other one is reverted. If this query ran, but this query failed, then the first query is also reverted. ये जो insert हुआ था ये revert हो जाता है कि नहीं भाई, insert नहीं करना है. The transaction has officially failed. So what do we have to do over here to ensure कि partially user कभी भी ना बन पाए? If the control reaches here, the first query goes, but the server crashes. How can we avoid the server from putting in, partial entry? We can wrap both of these inside a begin and a commit. क्या पहले एक transaction begin करते हैं, then पहली query भेजते हैं, दूसरी query भेजते हैं, then commit करते हैं. If बीच में कोई भी अटकी, then that is fine. The transaction will never happen. Both the queries will not run. Either both of them will run or neither will run. Either is failing, both will fail. So even in Node.js, you can first send a commit. Let's see, how do you do that? Yeah, client.query commit and begin, right? So यहाँ पे first you can say pg client.query begin. Then you send query number 1. Let me just put them together over here. Then you put query number 2. And then you do a pg client.query commit. What have we done? Here, begin the transaction, create the query number 1, get the user ID, create the query number 2, commit the transaction. हकीकत user ID कैसे आ रही है? आ जाती है. As I said, it isn't really created. It can still be reverted. But user ID, the incremental ID, can be returned, or you can get access to it. Even though this hasn't reached the database, even though the user's entry hasn't happened, you can still get the user ID kya thi. If you remember yesterday, if we had a failed transaction, if we have a failed transaction here, if I go over here to the users table and have a failed, I keep saying transaction, a failed query, कि मैं username null दे रहा हूं, and I give an email and a password, then it fails. Do it again. It fails. Now notice this will go from 7 to 10 because 8 and 9 may it tried to create a user. It did auto increment the ID field over here. If I now make a relevant entry, it goes up to 10 because 8 and 9 tried to create it. The same thing happens here. It tries to create a user's entry. Uski ID आपको मिल जाएगी. Then you try to create the second entry. And if both of them succeed, commit reaches the database. ये दोनों एक साथ चलेंगे. Commit का मतलब क्या है कि भाई ये रही पहली SQL query, ये रही दूसरी SQL query. Commit. अब if the database is healthy by then, it will run both of them and make sure both of them go in. If it does not get the commit, if there is a crash that happens here, the transaction will never happen, or the SQL queries will not, they will be reverted, and they will not run, the user's entry will not be made. Can we see this in action really quickly? Let's try to run it. Let's try to make a nice correct entry कि सब सही है. Error while signing up because the user ID is the same. Error while signing up again. इस बार मुझे नहीं पता क्यों है. अब we will have to log and see. We already have a log. Transaction is aborted. Commands ignored until the end of the transaction block. Something I have missed here. There you go. You have signed up. Unsure what I missed before this. If you know, let me know. Either I forgot to save the file or something else. You have signed up. Let's see, is there an entry with this username? Seems like it. ये थी ना, AS ended with a yes. Entry हो गई users table में. Entry हो गई addresses table में. Now, let's see if we can partially do it. क्या करते हैं? Let's go over here and await new promise. This line of code, if you don't understand it, it is fine. It will stop the control on this line for 100 seconds. What is this line of code doing? कि 100 seconds के लिए, or more technically, 100 into 1000 milliseconds के लिए, this line of, इसके आगे control नहीं जाना चाहिए. You can do other things. The thread can do other things, but it will not reach this commit statement. In fact, let me put it over here after the first query. Okay, the first query ran. Insert user happened. Then I paused for 100 seconds. Then insert address will happen. I will commit. ठीक है? तो ये query जा रही है. This line of code will run. pgclient.query insert user query will happen. We will be able to insert a user. But यहाँ पे मैं control को रोक दे रहा हूँ for 100 seconds and I will crash my Node.js backend. Okay, the Node.js backend died for whatever reason. Then we will see, has there been an entry in the users table? Let's see. Let me start the backend again. Let me change the username. Let me change the email, send. तो अभी stuck है वो. 100 seconds के लिए it will remain stuck over here. This line of code has run. This line of code has run. It is stuck over here right now. What if the backend crashes? Ab, is there a partial entry in the database? Let's see. Is there a new entry in the users table? Last ID was 12, it is still 12. Because we created a transaction, the server, if it crashed over here, users entry bhi nahi hui. But if I remove the transaction, if I remove the begin and the commit and then do it, oh, ये user already होगा. And now it is stuck for 100 seconds. Ignore everything else. Abhi ke liye it is stuck over here. This entry has happened. If I go to the database, you will see this entry 123, whatever this is. And 123 is what I sent. तो partially user create हो गया. That is bad. You wanted क्या तो दो create हो या एक भी create ना हो. That is why you put this transaction inside. You put these SQL queries inside the transaction. You can have multiple of them. ऐसा नहीं कि you only need one. You can put 5 SQL queries. This should all happen together, or nothing should happen. बीच में कुछ नहीं होना चाहिए. Do we understand this? Let's do a poll. ठीक है, simple. 95% is great. So last thing for today, guys, is going to be joins. One of the benefits of defining foreign key constraints, there are many benefits. एक तो ये था कि कोई गलत entry नहीं हो रही थी. If I tried to create an entry in the addresses table for a random user ID, it wasn't letting me. It was saying foreign key constraint has been violated. It will not let me create a user, an address entry over here for a user that does not exist. That is one benefit. The second benefit is joins. Defining a relationship is easy. What's hard is joining data from two tables together. What does joining data from two tables mean? Yeah, if this is your schema, okay, there is a users table and there is an addresses table, and one second, user ID, city, country, pin code, so on and so forth. If you have a database schema that looks like this, there might be a backend query. This is your backend. There might be a backend query that says, "Kya return me the user's information and the address information." Let's say there's a endpoint you have to create called /metadata question mark ID equal to 12, let's say, कि जो user 12 है उसका सारा metadata दे दो. Give me all their metadata including the fields over here and the fields over here. How will you create this endpoint? What will you do if I ask you to, a sign up endpoint is fine, create another endpoint called app.get slash what is it, metadata. Okay, given a user's ID, question mark ID equal to 12. What is this? This is a query parameter. So I can write const ID equal to rec.query.id. Given this ID, which is 12 over here, given this ID, how can I get their user information also? Get their other information also, their address. Should I run two queries? Const query 1 equal to select star from users where ID equal to $1. Const response 1 equal to pg client dot query 1 comma ID, and query 2 is select star from addresses where user ID is $1, and yahan pe I'm getting the response to, and then I can return, okay, your user information looks like this, response 1 dot rows of 0. Sorry, I need to await this. Which means I need to make this an async function. I can either do this, user is this thing, address information is this thing. This also works. Let's see it in action. Here, given a user key ID, पहले hit the users table, get the user information from there, alag se, then do another SQL query, then get all the address information for that user, then return it from here. This works. Let's see it in action. We made a new user. Let's find all the user IDs. There is a user with ID 17. So I can hit localhost :3000 / metadata question mark ID equal to 17. 17 ही था ना? 17. And it gives me a very big error. The error being, अच्छा ये पहले ही down हो गया था. My bad. Fresh. It returns me, क्या there is this user with ID 17, username, email, password सभी लौटा दिया. You should of course make sure password isn't exposed like this. So hopefully that is clear. Okay, you shouldn't ever return star from the users table. You should return just the username, email, ID. Don't return everything. Password लौटा दोगे तो आपका password expose हो गया on the internet. So I refresh it again. I see a username, email, and ID over here. I see a username, email, and ID over here. Query 2, यहाँ पे query 2 आएगा. That's my bad. The second query needs to run select star from addresses. The first query needs to run select something from users. Let's see it in action again. And there you have it. You have the information for user with ID 17. This is slightly wrong. Like user can have multiple addresses. This should ideally be, an array. I should not return response.rows of 0 here. I should return all the rows. If the user has 10 addresses, we should see all 10 of those addresses over here. So this should be an array. अब अगर एक और address entry होगी for this user, that will also come over here. So that is how you create the metadata, or whatever, return the metadata which returns data from two tables. ये एक तरीका है. Why is this bad? You are sending two separate queries. What if जब आपने पहली query भेजी तो user had, this is a bad example, यहाँ पे तो कुछ change नहीं होगा, but the user had some information in the users table that changed, and then you sent the second query, तो आपका कुछ inconsistent data आया. Bigger thing is, so you had to send one query, wait, then sequentially send the second query, then wait. How can you make it better? The answer is joins. What is hard is joining data from two tables. What does joining data mean? Yeah, in a single query, it would be nice if I can get everything. The user's information, address information. Now let's try converting the same to your, okay, this is the first one. This is the ugly approach that we took in SQL. Get all the user information first. That's query number 1. Get all the address information next. That is query number 2. ये भी कर सकते हैं. Or you can send a single query with joins. Now this is slightly complicated to look at, but let's try to understand it. Where are there two over here? Where user ID is the same. There's different syntaxes. The first one, let's try to see. Both do the same thing, so don't worry. It's just this one gives you slightly cleaner, syntax to write. Select users.id, users.name, users.email, addresses.city, country, street, pin code from users join addresses, not from users. They should actually be in the same line. From users join addresses on this foreign key constraint. There can be multiple foreign keys from the users table to another table. So you specify क्या join करना इस field पे करना. What does join mean? As the name suggests, it means join the tables. If there is an entry over here in the first table, okay, there is a user with ID 1, name Harkirat, email Harkirat, and some password. There is this entry. And then there is an entry here. Okay. Address with ID 1, user ID is 1, city is Chandigarh, country is India, pin code is something like this. And then user with ID, address entry with ID 2, which is also for user 1, who is all, let's say, has another address in Delhi. Which is again in India with some pin code. You can join these tables, which, as the name suggests, will sort of create a new table which has everything. You are joining, mixing the tables. So it will have a users table.id, users table.name, users table.email, users table.password. It will have this. What else will it have? It will have addresses table.id, addresses table.city, so on and so forth. And when you join them, इसमें दो entries आ जाएंगी अब कि user ID 1 has name Harkirat, has email harkirat@gmail.com, has password 123123, has first address Chandigarh, has first address city Delhi, pin code this thing, so on and so forth. And another entry कि user ID 1, name is still the same Harkirat, email is still the same, password is still the same, city is still the same. Sorry, city is now Delhi. And then, whatever. Country is India, pin code is something else. This is what a join means. कि आपने दोनों टेबल्स को ज्वाइन कर दिया ऑन सर्टन कंस्ट्रेंट्स कि यार यूजर आईडी 1 और द यूजर आईडी एंट्री ओवर हियर एंड द दिस एड्रेसेस डॉट यूजर आईडी एंट्री ओवर हियर, इसके बेसिस पे हम टेबल्स को ज्वाइन करेंगे. दैट इज व्हाट this over here is doing. If we try to read through it, what does it say? Select users.id के जो पहला टेबल था उसकी आईडी, users.name, users.email, addresses.city, country, street, pin code from users join addresses on user टेबल की जो आईडी है is equal to addresses टेबल की जो यूजर आईडी है, this thing right here. इसके बेसिस पे प्लीज ज्वाइन कर दो इन दोनों को. That is how we have joined this table over here and return that. Then we have also added a constraint okay, where the user ID is 17, let's say. Let's try to run it. And as you can see, a single row came. क्या ID is 17, user ID जो है, username is this, email is this, city is this, country is this, street is this, pin code is this. एक सिंगल रो में सारा डेटा मिल गया, एक सिंगल एसक्यूएल क्वेरी में सारा डेटा निकल गया. यू डिड अ जॉइन बिटवीन टू टेबल्स. सो रादर देन डूइंग दिस sending query number 1 and then sending query number 2, what can we do? Let me create a better app.get metadata or better metadata, and let me run this very long query. So const id equal to rec.query.id, const query equal to select users.id, this thing from all of this, sorry, from users join addresses on these constraints where users.id equal to, यहां पे हम क्या डालेंगे again, $1, the first dynamic variable, and then we'll run pg client.query. query is this, and क्या dynamic variable है हमारा id. This needs to be replaced with this id over here. Harkirat, why are you doing this? Why did you not simply write this? ये भी कर सकते हैं, but this leads to SQL injection. What is SQL injection? We learned yesterday, which is why we use this other syntax. Await and const response equal to this, and then rest.json response. Let me return that to the front end. अब एक single query में I was able to get the same data, जो यहाँ पे I had to do query number 1 and query number 2, two different queries for. Let's see if this better metadata endpoint works. What am I missing? App.get better dash metadata. क्या मिस कर रहे हैं? Oh, my bad. Forgot to put a slash over here. Let's try that again. Forgot to put a slash here. Refresh. Pretty printed. ये पूरा ही return कर दिया मैंने. I should have returned just response is response dot rows. What should I return? Response dot rows. पूरा नहीं चाहिए ऑब्जेक्ट के क्या क्या हुआ, क्या मिला, कौन सी कमांड गई थी, ये सब नहीं चाहिए. Just the rows. And as you can see, there is a single row. Now this is, it's debatable whether this is cleaner or not. This leads to a bunch of issues also. Joins are very expensive. You're doing a n cross m multiplication. There are 20 entries here, 20 entries here. You're trying to do joins across 40 entries. So joins are expensive. They actually make things slow. I have a issue that I would have pointed you to if I could find it, where we had a join and we suddenly got 1 million users, and then we got rid of the join. Okay, by 2 queries kar lenge, it is fine. The join became very expensive because one of the table had 1 million rows. Other one, let's say, had whatever 20,000 rows. So when we were joining, there was 20,000 into 1 million. इतने ज़्यादा rows बनने की कोशिश हो रही थी. Of course, there are some constraints. The net number of final rows are much lesser, but the computation was happening. That was happening. It was n cross m. So suddenly, one endpoint became very slow. So what did we do? कि यार ठीक है, पहले तो users table से ले आते हैं जो relevant user है. What is the user with ID 1? Then addresses table से ले आते हैं, what are their addresses? No need to join, because when you are joining, then there is a n cross m mapping that you are doing. So joins are good. They let you avoid a database call. They let you see data in a structured fashion एक साथ, rather than decomposed across two different these things, entries, whatever. That's a vague answer, or bad reason why joins are good. But it should be a conscious choice कि join use करना चाहिए कि नहीं. As fancy as joins sound, practically sometimes they don't make sense. Do we understand joins? This is another way to do it. थोड़ा cleaner है ये. What we have done is select u.id from users u. यार users को u से नहीं rename कर दो यहाँ पे इस query के लिए. Join addresses a, ताकि ये पूरा इतना लंबा ना लिखना पड़े. Select users.id, users.name, simply written select u.id, u.username from users u. Join addresses a on whatever constraints you want. So hopefully that's simple enough. अगर ये समझ आया तो ये भी समझ आया. Let's see in action. Do you guys understand this? Again, this is the bad approach, sending two separate queries. This is the good approach, which is sending a single query with a join. Do we understand joins? Or simple enough. 90% is decent. I'll take doubts at the end. तो ठीक है, बस एक चीज बची है, स्टैंडर्ड इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चन जो मैं भी हमेशा भूल जाता हूँ, फिर भूल गया हूँ, which is there are various types of joins: inner join, left join, right join, full join. हमेशा कॉलेज में भी हमेशा कंफ्यूज होता था. दिस इज लाइक वेरी कॉमन DBMS types that you should know. So let me sit up for this one. There are 4 types of joins. Let's get to what those are. Basically होता क्या है कि sometimes it might happen कि you don't have very strict foreign key constraints. User ID can be null, can be something that does not exist over here, or this is an optional query. The foreign key constraint is there. अगर यहाँ entry है तो यहाँ पे entry होनी चाहिए. But this can be null, which means कि address किसी user को belong नहीं करता. So in this case, how do you join? If no, actually that's wrong. That's wrong. What can happen is this. I get it now. Okay, there is an entry in the users table, but there is no entry in the addresses table. Let's try it out practically. Let's say there is an entry in the users table. Let me go to tables. Let me go to users and let me add a record. Username new Kirat. Email, password. Did that? Save changes. A new entry was made with ID 19 and it has no address entries. अभी तक address की कोई entry नहीं है. So what do you think will happen when I send a query to the better metadata endpoint? ये जो endpoint है, अगर मैं इस पे query भेजूंगा, that simply says, here give me the user's information, give me the address information for that user. क्या मुझे user information भी मिल पाएगी? Will I get, there is no address, that is fine. So there is no address information, but will I get the user information also? User has no addresses. This endpoint should return me my metadata. Here, this is your username, this is your email. It will not return me my address. I don't have addresses, but metadata to return करना चाहिए ना? Does it do it? Let's see. If I refresh better metadata for ID 19, which is in the users table, not in the addresses table, what do you think happens? Response तो खाली है. Why did I not get my user metadata? Of course, if I send it to the metadata endpoint, तब तो सही होगा. तब तो addresses आएगा खाली, user की information ये रही. तो metadata endpoint is good. That is not using joins. But if you start to use joins, it says no entry. Why? Because we said भाई join कर tables को. Find an entry which exists here and has an entry here. उसकी rows return कर. अगर there are 2 rows of addresses here, then there will be 2 rows finally here. If there is 1 row of address here, then there will be 1 row in the final join. But if there is no address, then it could not find a join. उसको कोई एंट्री मिली ही नहीं एड्रेसेस टेबल में, तो इट सेड भाई कुछ नहीं मिला. Even though there is user metadata, this still exists, but because there is no entry here, final database mein you got zero rows. Here the response has an empty row. That is why there is this concept of left join, right join, and full join. Let's start with the first one, inner join. Rows returns rows when there is at least one match on both the sides. This is what is happening right now, right? अगर यहां पे और यहां पे at least one entry is there in both the places, then we get a final row. But right now, for ID number 19 जो मैंने create किया है, there is no entry in the addresses table. And hence, I got back 0 rows. So, what is an inner join? Returns rows when there is at least one match in both the tables. अगर दोनों में at least एक match होगा, तो जाके एक row return होगी. Of course, there are 2 matches, 2 rows return होगी. Use case, find all the users with their addresses. If a user hasn't filled their address, the user shouldn't be returned. So this is one use case you can think of. क्या आपको चाहिए ही है कि if the user has not written their address, then don't return me their metadata. Then feel free to use inner join by default also. Inner join comes. I did not write inner join here. What did I write? From users you join address. I did not write inner join address. By default, the join that happens is inner join. I think that is right, but correct me if I'm wrong. But based on this, it makes sense, right? कि अगर दोनों में एक जगह एंट्री होगी तो ही फाइनल रो आएगी, अदरवाइज नहीं आएगी. Then what is a left join? Returns all rows from the left table and the matched rows from the right table. Returns all rows from the left table and the matched rows from the right table. कि left में जो है वो तो आएगी ही आएगी. Doesn't matter right side पे something is there or not. The left table will definitely return something, even if the right table has no entry. So in our case, what is our left table? Select all of this from users join addresses. Users is the left table. So if I do a users left join addresses, what would happen is कि returns all the rows from the left table. कि left table में जो जो row match हो रही है, whatever row in the left table has user ID 1 or whatever this variable will be returned irrespective of right side पे कुछ है कि नहीं. Let's see. आ गई ना एंट्री. Of course, city is null, country is null, street is null. But एक रो तो आई ही आई because I did a left join. At least one row came. Of course, if the entry was there, then there would have been some relevant things here. If 2 entries were there, there would have been 2 entries here. But if there were 0 entries in the addresses table, still it worked. That is a left join. Can you guess what the right join will be? The opposite, right? कि right side की कोई, even if there is nothing in the left table, but some entries in the right table, the right entries will be returned. They might be returned with some things set to null for the left side. जैसे यहां हो रहा है. What is the left join doing? कि left table जो है वो तो आएगा ही आएगा. Whatever rows are met over there, they will come for sure. Whatever rows have ID equal to 19, they will come for sure, irrespective of the right table has an entry or not. If it does not have any entry, you will see null. If it has one entry, you will see that values here. If it has 2 entries, then of course you'll see 2 rows over here. If it has 5 entries, you will see 5 entries over here. But if there are 0 entries, still you see the left ka data. Right join is the opposite. Even if there is nothing in the left table, if there is no entry here, this is a, it won't happen practically for us because addresses has a foreign key to users. तो कभी ऐसा होगा नहीं कि there is an entry in the addresses table that doesn't exist over here. But if that happened, if there is an entry in the addresses table that does not exist in the user table, तो वो row will come with user ID set to null, username set to null, email set to null. That is what a right join is. And then finally a full join. Full join क्या होगा? Returns rows when there is a match in one of the tables. It effectively combines the result of left and right join. कि यार अगर कोई ऐसी चीज है जो लेफ्ट में है बट राइट में नहीं है, it should come. If there is something that is in right and not in left, that should come. If there is something in both of them, that should come. So full join is everything. If there are some users that are matched by this query that don't exist on the other side, add them. There are a bunch of addresses that are there that don't have a corresponding user, add them. If there are entries that are properly present in both the places, add them as well. Let's see it in action. Let's do a full join over here. Sorry, full join and then refresh, restart. And then the entry is still here. Agar addresses table mein there would have been an entry which did not have a corresponding entry in the users table, then you would have seen that here as well. We can't do that because we have a foreign key constraint. We can't have an entry in the addresses table that does not exist in the users table. But agar hota, so you would have seen that as well. Do we understand this? Let's do a poll. Do we understand the types of joins? Wow, it took us 1.5 hours. Well, we started a little late, so. Well, that's all we have, guys, then. Surprisingly, we were able to cover it. All right. 90% understood, 10% have doubts. So fire away. I think we can do 15 minutes of doubts. And then I'll have to call it a little early today. 1 second. All right. Any doubts, guys? Any questions? All right. A lot of them. Alrighty. Notion doc. Hi, Keith. I have 3 years of experience in .NET development. I have recently switched into service-based company MNC. I want to product-based company. What should I plan? I actually think I'm not very good at DSA. Started doing DSA, solve your questions. Taking a course, but sometimes miss the classes. And work on DSA first. Kindly path. See, 90 days notice period. It can affect switching, honestly. But if it's remote, just work in both the places. I don't know. Have a 30-minute notice, something. 60 days left. You will have to overwork. But yeah, 90-day period is bad. There's a reason companies do, because it leads to higher employee retention. No other company would hire them if there is a 90-day this thing. So you can only get remote opportunities. Shuru mein thoda moonlight for a bit and then eventually leave. But coming to your original question, 30 LPA really depends on your probably current CTC as well. If it's 20-30% on top of your current CTC, it should anyways be doable. Like most probably in .NET only, you should be able to switch around. If it is exponentially higher than your current CTC, then I don't know. Also seems like you're in this merge stack cohort, so you're thinking of moving from to merge stack, but you don't have merge stack experience. So you will definitely get an interview because of your experience. 3 years is pretty good. What will be a problem is they would expect you to know Node.js at that level, which may or may not happen. So wo kar lo ki get yourself at that level. If you do sit in a senior engineer interview for Node.js, which you can do by gaining some open source experience, like kuch 4-5 repositories mein karke dekh lo ki mujhe ho bhi raha hai, and I have some experience also. Then you can go from there. All right. Inner join and full join are doing the same thing. No, they're quite opposite actually. Inner join is. Actually, let me show you practically. Okay, you say they're doing the same things. If I do a full join, तो ये endpoint क्या return कर रहा है? It returns me this entry. If I do an inner join, then what does this endpoint return me? It returns me an empty row. So it's definitely not doing the same thing. But what is the difference? Read through it, go back a few minutes, or I can re-explain. But long story short, inner join is कि दोनों जगह entry होगी तो ही row आएगी. If the entry is in both the places, then you will see the final row. Full join is even if it's the entry is here but no corresponding entry here, you will see the row. Even if there's an entry here, no corresponding entry here, you will steal the row. There's one I gave in, let's see if it's on quiz. There's one I gave in Super 30, which is pretty solid. No one has been able to do it yet. Like this, everyone did this was on YouTube. This everyone sort of eventually did rote. No one did this, but that's fine. It's like a little too niche of a project. I don't have it here. It's a live streaming Unacademy platform where there's a teacher on the top right, and then there's some slides over here, then there's some chat over here, and teacher can chat with the students. They can skim through the slides. They can screen share. They can add a whiteboard. The difficult bit is replaying the events. Okay, when the recording has stopped and then the user comes back, then they should again see the same events. The slide was at number 3 at timestamp 20, slide was at number 5 at timestamp 16, so on and so forth. तो वो डिफिकल्ट है, ये कोई नहीं कर पाया, दैट प्रॉब्ली मींस इट्स अ डिफिकल्ट प्रोजेक्ट. मैं तो ऐसे फिल्टर आउट कर रहा हूँ जो यहाँ नहीं कर पाते हैं, दैट मींस इट्स अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट प्रोजेक्ट एंड ग्रेट 1 to 2. तो यस, अन अकेडमी लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग प्लेटफॉर्म, एजुकेटर साइड, क्लाइंट साइड, एंड मेकिंग दैट लुक प्रीटी गुड. Awadh hacks. I don't know what this is or why you sent it to me. टीए से पूछ लिया, उन्होंने बोला कि ऑर्डर मैटर करता है बट रीजन नहीं समझ आया. ओ या सो control the check status control. I didn't push the hot middleware, but all firstly, you've done an app.use this, which takes you to the user end routes. तो खत्म भाई, मतलब उसके बाद इसका क्या पॉइंट है? दिस विल नेवर रन. लेट मी शो यू. You're doing this app.use API/v1, router1 app/use v1, some middleware you have and then some router2 you have. यही किया आपने. इसमें तो बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम्स. as the TA said, the orders matter. Control will never reach to any one of these. Let me show you one more. API v1/brain/share. ये लिखा है आपने. This might be your, whatever, and API share endpoint. But इससे पहले ही आपने कहा है कि any request that comes to API v1 इस router पे जाओ. And let's say, const router1 equal to new equal to router and const router2 equal to router. Now let me try to send a request here. क्या यहां आएगा कंट्रोल? अरे मैं चुप आ गया ये तो. अच्छा, बिकॉज देयर इज नो हैंडलर हियर. ऑफ कोर्स आएगा, आएगा आएगा. दिस तो इज फाइन, because there won't be any, there are no handlers here, right? If there was a handler, router1 dot get/brain/share, तो नहीं आएगा. upper one message upper one, there you go. So if I do this, then the control reaches here, the router1 never reaches नीचे वाले. So let's say that you have already taken care of. Your second question is this and this. This actually looks right now. टीए से पूछ रहे हैं ऑर्डर मैटर करता है, देखते हैं भैया. In this share link controller and the check status controller, share link controller, okay, and the check status controller, okay. I didn't put any auth middleware, but auth middleware already gets enrolled in these routes. हाँ, so that तो will happen. तो ये great, अब समझ आ गया क्वेश्चन आपका. Yes, let me put a middleware here. And यहाँ पे मैं करूँगा const middleware equal to rec res next console.log middleware called and then next. ठीक है, मैंने ये कर दिया. Let's try to run it. अभी TypeScript errors देगा. यही प्रॉब्लम है आपकी कि यहाँ पे मिडलवेयर है, तो यहाँ पे क्यों मिडलवेयर कॉल हो रहा है? मिडलवेयर तो यहाँ पे कॉल होना चाहिए, इस एंड पॉइंट पे क्यों मिडलवेयर कॉल हो रहा है? यही क्वेश्चन है. रिफ्रेश. व्हाई डिड आई थिंक कि मिडलवेयर कॉल होना चाहिए यहाँ पे? बिकॉज एपीआई v1 से ही रिक्वेस्ट स्टार्ट हो रही है, तो यहाँ पे जाना तो चाहिए, बट देयर इज नो फाइनल हैंडलर. लेट्स सी व्हाट्स हैपनिंग विद यू नाउ. भैया, in the share link controller, this one right here, I'm just interested in this one now, and the check status controller, this one, I didn't push the auth middleware, but auth middleware already gets enrolled in these routes if I put these two routes above
the such that and no any route above these are using auth, then it is running and should be example. भाई साहब थोड़ा इंग्लिश ठीक करो यार भैया. In this share link controller and check status controller, I didn't put any auth middleware. Share link, there's no auth middleware, but auth automatically gets enrolled if in these routes share link and check status में auth चल रहा है. I mean, I have to look at your content routes, but my guess is okay, inside this you might have a slash API slash v1 slash. No, but this is a catch-all. देखो मैं तो वो रिक्रिएट नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ पहली बात. योर प्रॉब्लम, आई थॉट आई विल बी एबल टू रिक्रिएट योर प्रॉब्लम. आई एम नॉट एबल टू रिक्रिएट योर प्रॉब्लम, which is okay, you are saying in the share link controller, which let's say is this for me or whatever, router 2 for me. Let me do this. Router 2 dot get slash brain slash share this thing. And अब आप कह रहे हो कि नीचे वाले कंट्रोलर में ऑथ क्यों आ रही है जो कि ऊपर वाले में होनी चाहिए. यही क्वेश्चन है आपका. Let's see if that happens for me. I would have assumed it would have happened, but नहीं हुई थी. हाँ हो गई बहन. ठीक है मेरी भी हो गई अब तो. API v1 पे जो रिक्वेस्ट आ रही है, go to the middleware, go to router 1, which will not have the oh, it does have a handler. My bad, ये तो मेरी गलती है. This should be router 2. इसको अभी के लिए बंद कर देते हैं. Refresh and middleware is called. So I was able to recreate what you said, which is there is a router 1, there is a router 2, and there is a middleware. And when you send a request, that it cannot be caught by router 1, middleware फिर भी कॉल हो रहा है. Exactly. And ये मैंने ओरिजिनली भी सोचा था. I wasn't able to recreate it, but मैंने सोचा था. क्यों सोचा था? क्योंकि what does app.use do? आप क्या कह रहे हो कि अगर मैं इसको ऊपर डाल देता हूं तो चल जाता है. हकीरत ये कह रहे हो ना. This works हकीरत. Middleware is not called now. Middleware कॉल नहीं हो रहा. But if I do this, then middleware is getting called, even though यहां पे तो मैंने middleware डाला ही नहीं. यही क्वेश्चन है. But I do think कि middleware में जो आप changes कर रहे हो वो यहां आएंगे नहीं. Let me do a console.log rec.hello and let me do middleware में rec.hello equal to something like this. ठीक है. I have done a rec.hello equal to 123 and आपके final route में I have checked rec.hello क्या है. I would assume ये undefined ही होगा. Let's see. Actually ये नहीं होगा शायद undefined. ये नहीं होगा undefined. हाँ ये नहीं undefined. Here is a quick वो on how Express works. जब Express में एक request आती है, it is just going through a bunch of middlewares. जब एक request आई है Express पे, let's say slash, आप middleware 1 डाल सकते हो यहां, आप middleware 2 डाल सकते हो यहां, and then you can have the final handler, which believe it or not is also a middleware only. इसको भी middleware ही बुलाते हैं. You call it a handler sometimes, but it is also called a middleware. कि यार जब भी कोई रिक्वेस्ट आई, its goal is to go through a bunch of middlewares based on the path. Let's say कि अगर path कुछ XYZ है, so it will go to middleware 1, then middleware 2, then middleware 3, and finally land, let's say, in this handler. अब होता क्या है कि middlewares are allowed to end requests. middleware चाहे तो रिक्वेस्ट को एंड कर सकता है, चाहे तो फॉरवर्ड कर सकता है. A middleware can forward the request to the next guy, can forward the request to the next guy, or if the middleware wants, it can block the request right here. But अगर आपने ये कोड लिखा है, इसका मतलब है भाई जो भी इनकमिंग रिक्वेस्ट आ रही है, अगर आप इससे स्टार्ट हो रहे हो, इफ यू आर स्टार्टिंग विद API v1, इस मिडलवेयर में जाओ. मिडलवेयर क्या कर रहा है? कह रहा है भाई अगले वाले में जाओ. अगला वाला क्या कह रहा है कि यार मेरे पास तो कोई हैंडलर नहीं है API v1 का, आपने जहां रिक्वेस्ट भेजी है API V1 ब्रेन शेयर, मेरे पास कोई हैंडलर नहीं है, आगे जाओ, मिलता है तो मैं तो नहीं ढूंढ पाया। फिर ये यहां पहुंचता है कि अभी तक तो मिडलवेयर ने किसी एंड नहीं किया रिक्वेस्ट को, नो मिडलवेयर हैज एंडेड द रिक्वेस्ट। पहले मिडलवेयर ऑथ वाले ने कुछ कुछ किया, दूसरे वाले ने बोला कि भाई मेरे से तो मैच नहीं हो रहा, आगे जा। तो उसके बाद कंट्रोल यहां आया और राउटर 2 में जाके वो हैंडल हुआ। तो जब भी रिक्वेस्ट आ रही है, ये सारे ऐप डॉट यूज में से जा रही है कि भाई मैं कहां फिट होती हूं। एंड सिंस योर एप्लीकेशन स्टार्ट्स विद एपीआई V1 ब्रेन शेयर, वो एपीआई V1 से स्टार्ट होती है, वो सबसे पहले यही आएगी, यहां कंट्रोल जाएगा। ये देख लो, यहां पे मैं स्टॉप कर देता हूं रिक्वेस्ट को, रेस्ट डॉट जेसॉन मैसेज रिक्वेस्ट स्टॉप्ड इन मिडलवेयर रिटर्न। अब मैंने मिडलवेयर को बोला कि भाई तू यहीं स्टॉप कर दे, तो व्हाट डू यू थिंक, कंट्रोल यहां इस राउटर 2 पे कभी पहुंचेगा? यू माइट थिंक यार किरत रिक्वेस्ट तो स्लैश ब्रेन स्लैश शेयर पे आ रही है, राउटर 1 में तो कोई हैंडलर है नहीं, स्लैश एपीआई राउटर 1 तो खाली है, इट हैज नो हैंडलर फॉर एपीआई V1 ब्रेन शेयर। तो यू माइट थिंक कि देयर इज नो पॉइंट ऑफ दिस मिडलवेयर रनिंग, जब यहां कोई हैंडलर नहीं है तो व्हाई वुड द मिडलवेयर रन? बट नो, एक्सप्रेस की रिक्वेस्ट आई है, ऊपर से शुरू होगी कि कहां पे मैं मैच हो रही हूं, कोई मिडलवेयर मुझे लेगा, तो दिस मिडलवेयर इज एबल टू कैच इट। इफ इट रिटर्न्स तो बस यहीं रुक जाएगी, लेट्स सी, request stopped in the middleware. But if it doesn't return, it says next. तो ये इस राउटर पे जाएगा, राउटर देखेगा कि भाई मैं तो खाली हूं, आई डोंट हैव अ राउटर 1 डॉट गेट स्लैश ब्रेन स्लैश शेयर, मैं तो इसको हैंडल नहीं कर सकता, कहेगा भाई आगे जा, देन इट विल रीच हियर, एंड देन यहां पे उसको हैंडलर थैंकफुली मिला। दैट इज वाई ये मिडलवेयर कॉल होगा। स्लैश एपीआई स्लैश V1 से स्टार्ट होने वाली सारी रिक्वेस्ट यहां जाएंगी। तो यहाँ आपको करना क्या चाहिए, आपको ये करना चाहिए क्या, सारी ऑथेंटिकेटेड रिक्वेस्ट यहां जाएंगी और सारी अनऑथेंटिकेटेड रिक्वेस्ट यहां जाएंगी। एक दिस इज वन थिंग यू कैन डू कि ऑल ऑथेंटिकेटेड रिक्वेस्ट विल बी हैंडल्ड बाय आफ्टर मिडलवेयर बाय राउटर 1, ऑल अनऑथेंटिकेटेड रिक्वेस्ट विल बी हैंडल्ड डायरेक्टली बाय राउटर 2। तब चल जाएगा, समझ आया? गुड क्वेश्चन, मैं भी कंफ्यूज हो गया एक बार को। How are there students in Super 30 because does the college allow attendance? Two things. One, they have put some medical shit, and two, they are going back for college examinations. I created a private repo yesterday. All right. You are indeed correct, but I think I won't be able to start it as soon as I would like to. Change visibility and 022116. All right. It's public now. Thank you. I don't know React query yet. So I was asking, what atoms or selectors do I need for the second brain application? Huh. That's a great question. You probably need an atom family or a selector family at the very least. An atom with all the contents, a selector for Twitter content, video content, another one for video content, another one for document content, एंड देन अ सेलेक्टर फैमिली कि जब मैं इस पर क्लिक करता हूं तो मुझे सिर्फ वो टू डू दिखे, मैं सिर्फ उस टू डू को अपडेट कर पाऊं। इफ आई वांट टू अपडेट दैट टू डू, आई कैन डू इट। सो अ ग्लोबल एटम कंटेंट्स अ बंच ऑफ सेलेक्टर्स, ट्विटर सेलेक्टर, video selector, and a select an atom family for actually it won't be an atom, it'll be an atom family जो पहली चीज होगी which will store all of these because जब आप इसको खोलोगे then you should see an atom that you can edit. तो an atom family that stores everything, a selector, अब सेलेक्टर होगा कि सेलेक्टर फैमिली होगा, इट विल बी अ सेलेक्टर दैट गिव्स ट्वीट सेलेक्टर, वीडियो सेलेक्टर, डॉक्यूमेंट सेलेक्टर, एंड देन ऑल ऑफ दीस विल बी एटम्स। इनको खोल के एडिट करोगे तो आपका एटम अपडेट होगा। Where to deploy? Or are you asking like where do I get a machine where I can deploy a model? You've already trained the model, so I would assume running it is not as heavy. But if you still need one, I think DigitalOcean has, all cloud providers have some GPUs. It's hard to get access to them. But DigitalOcean has a GPU, NVIDIA, AI machines that you can use. If that is a question, cloud पे कहाँ deploy करूँ? I'm trying to build this project. Repo link खाली है, ये डालना चाह रहा भाई फिर से एक बार. I would love to see it. This is done. Okay, back to chat. Start from the top now. So if a query inside a transaction block fails and the ID in my database is incremented for the query, then yes, वो ID बढ़ गई है, अगले वाले में उससे आगे वाली यूज होगी. If no, then why do I? नहीं, it's not no, it is yes. Deletes the first query and doing three internally. Revert. Shouldn't a try catch be better then? How can a try catch be better? What will you write in the try catch? Okay. Oh shit. Oh, this is okay. You gave me an amazing interview question, by the way, जो मैं पूछूंगा आप लोगों से कि बताओ भाई ऑथ मिडलवेयर क्यों चल रहा है और ऐसे घोड़े खुलेंगे भाई, मतलब दिस इज हार्ड. I will create an interview question out of this. All right, there we go. Try catch is the worst idea ever. Why? Because क्या करोगे आप? You will do this. Try catch, and then if there's a problem, you will revert the transaction. Okay, const delete query, delete from users whatever, where ID is X. Problem is, अगर यहाँ पे control reach हुआ, did not crash. There's no exception that was thrown. The server itself crashed on this line. So your catch will never run. And hence, this won't fix anything. It is still the stale problem. You might have partial data in the database. You are trying to manually revert it, but the problem is एक ही करके queries आ रही हैं. बीच में कभी भी database, if it dies, or sorry, the backend server dies, the future query will not go. So this delete query will never go to the database. What else? This thing. What is episode learning? Remembering things you remember. Oh, no notes, nothing. Just a lot of practice. Is the best way to sort of learn. Procedures and triggers in Postgres. Surprisingly, we used triggers recently. कहाँ use किए थे? We were thinking of using them in Algo Arena. What happens in Algo Arena is, I'll create a video on it. Ankur, please make a note of it. But what happens in Algo Arena is, long story short, there's a bunch of test cases. And then when all of those test cases run is when we have to update the status of the submission to be true or false or whatever, accepted or rejected. So yeah, we should discuss them. Triggers, and what is the other thing? Triggers to use kiye the recently. What are the other thing here? You wrote two things. Procedures. I think these are, complex, I don't know, the complex functions that you can write. अलग से बहुत सारा logic एक साथ लिख सकते हो. And you can directly call that function. Is that it? If not, happy to read about it and then make a video on it. What is the difference between MySQL and Postgres? I forgot MySQL, but seems queries. No, they both use SQL. There can be many types of SQL databases. Each might have its own implementation. In case differences, you should know. I can Google it in front of you and tell. Probably a good interview question. But the common thing is SQL. Yes, it looks the same because you are querying them the same. आप उनमें same तरीके की queries भेज रहे हो, which is why ऐसा लगता है कि इनमें फर्क क्या है. But फर्क is in the implementation. The way the database is written, the way it does reads, writes, the way it does transactions, the way it does, writes the write-ahead log, the way the data is persisted, things like these. That is different. The implementation is different. TypeScript code can be run in Firefox or JavaScript. Sorry, JavaScript code can be run in Firefox. JavaScript code can be run in Chrome. पर वो compiler अलग है. Chrome uses V8, खुद का कुछ engine, and Firefox uses SpiderMonkey, उनका engine. तो you can have the same language that is interpreted differently. Similarly, you can have SQL as the language, which is interpreted differently by MySQL. By interpreted differently, I mean कि वो उससे कुछ और करता है, किसी अलग तरीके से डेटा डाल रहा है. Postgres किसी अलग तरीके से डेटा डाल रहा है. Notion doc. Is it mandatory to write the primary table first after the from users join? Primary table first after from user join. Is it? Is it, sorry, what's your question? फिर से पढ़ता हूँ एक बार. What is your up? Oh, okay, sorry. So कहाँ गया ये question? Is it mandatory to write the primary table first from like from after after from कहाँ गई query? After primary table first, after from users join. I don't know what you mean here. Let me copy this. Go over here, SQL editor. From users join addresses इसको अलग कर देते हैं. What is your question here? Is it? एक बार फिर से पूछना भाई थोड़ा मतलब can you elaborate a bit and ask again? What if we can run both the queries in parallel instead of a transaction? You can do it. You can not await here, not await here. दोनों साथ में चली जाएंगी. But the problem remains the same. One of them fails. What if the first one reaches the database processes it, and then the database crashes? It will probably lead to lesser errors. ये कम होगा कि जब आप whenever your server downscales, your server dies, this when you have awaits in both the places, you'll probably run into these inconsistency issues more. But this still has the same problem. What if one of these queries fail? Could fail for 1,000 reasons, right? It's not just के server crash कर गया. What if the first query reaches the database first, and then the second query is not able to reach the database, or if it reaches the database is down by then. So sending them parallelly might sound like a good approach, but again, practically you will have cases where one entry will be made and the other won't be made. Other problem is foreign key constraint might you send both of them together, but user abhi bana hi nahi hai. You won't have their user ID. What will you send as the user ID here? And even if you are able to send as something as a user ID, what if the user hasn't been created and you're trying to create an address for them? वो कहेगा user ID exist ही नहीं करती. So that's the reason. So if a query runs, okay, answer that one. Explain inner joins. 1 second. A few Notion docs. Answer that one. Can you please cover these scenarios where we manually delete migrations and then try to bring them back? Yes. Depends. This is easy when you are using a framework. When you're defining your schema separately, for example, if you're using Prisma, you're defining your schema in a Prisma.schema file. So there, वैसे तो this is very scary generally, भाई, कि deleting all of your migrations are बना के बैठ के बनाते रहो उनको फिर. So one thing that people do is if this does happen, your migrations get deleted, you go back to your database, export it again, and copy all the create table command from there. That's your migrations again. That's a dumb way to do it. समझ आइए कि your migrations got deleted, but your database is still there, right? So database में जाओ, export करो database को, get all the migrations or get all the create table queries or whatever update table queries. That's your new set of migrations. That is one thing you can do. The other thing is you're maintaining all of your schema in a separate place, like a Prisma.schema file, ताकि you can always regenerate it. इसमें भी बहुत problems होंगी, of course. You will have to update your database. There's a Prisma migrations table in the database that you have to update and tell it कि भाई नहीं ये migrations change हो गई हैं. तो yeah, change the schema, thereby affecting migrations, and try inserting in the DB. Can you cover scenarios where you change the schema? I mean, we will have a lot of scenarios where we'll change the schema as we build an application, like build a project, and thereby affecting migration, then inserting them into the database. Sure. I mean, well, yeah, you can do this manually. कि ये जो create table queries थी हमने कहीं डाल दी, or you can depend on a framework like Prisma is probably an over-engineered framework. It does 10 different things. Migration is one thing it does. But it will take care of all of your migration files. We don't manually create these migration files that you see over here. If I go to Prisma/migrations, ये हमने खुद नहीं बनाई है. These are automatically generated. So easiest is कि you depend on someone. All right. Inner joins, go through the video one more time. I've covered it 2 times. सिंपल ही है, बहुत फर्क नहीं है. एक लास्ट टाइम बता देता हूँ कि इनर जॉइन क्या होता है. कि अगर दोनों जगह एंट्री होगी तभी फाइनल रो दिखेगी. इफ देयर इज एन एंट्री इन द यूजर्स टेबल एंड एन एड्रेसेस टेबल, then you will see a row there. There's an entry in the users table and 2 entries here, then you will see 2 rows there. But if there is an entry in the users table and 0 entries there, then you will not see a final thing. But the same thing doesn't happen if oh boy, my mind. The same thing doesn't happen for a full join. Full join में क्या होता है कि यार या तो यहाँ एंट्री हो या फिर यहाँ एंट्री हो, काम चल जाएगा. You will get the final row. बट इनर जॉइन में क्या होता है कि दोनों जगह एटलीस्ट एक एंट्री तो होनी चाहिए, तभी एक फाइनल रो आएगी, अदरवाइज अ फाइनल रो विल नॉट कम. दैट इज व्हाई इनर जॉइन इज. नोशन डॉक. What is decent, honestly? No live links, which is a little bit of a put off. Are you in college? What are your salary expectations? Yada yada yada. Let me follow you. Let's talk. Like the project looks decent only. Now it's probably only your कहाँ गए? Yeah, I know this can happen, but like this can't be prevented. Like you can always iframe anything, right? I can iframe Netflix and whatever, show it somewhere. I can, easiest thing to do is I can share my password with everyone. This, even though there are ways to protect this also, like we were talking about this the other day, CAD referrer checks and everything, but yeah, this will happen. The good thing is this doesn't affect us because we have a limit of 10 video plays a day, let's say. So, even if you're able to share it through this platform or this way, only 10 videos can be played in a day, which is fine, which the person has paid for. अब वो 10 अकेला नहीं देख रहा है, बहुत लोग मिलके देख रहे हैं, तो not much you can do about it. But yeah, would not call it a vulnerability. Then again, you can just screen record it. That's a vulnerability. This is like that. Okay, I'll follow you. I think I'll answer this one, right? I said the back end of an academy. Yeah. So this is you. And what else? Require to share. Okay, answer the same, I think. Current knowledge. Based on current knowledge. I mean, one would be, I mean, you won't be able to do this yet. Like, wait for Prisma first, or do it in PG, whatever. It's fine. Metaverse would have been a good one. Everyone has created that, so maybe not that. Chess is a great one. Based on the knowledge we have until now, like I have a video on chess. I wouldn't watch that, but chess would be a great project to build if you want to. Multiplayer chess. Not a lot of people have built it, even though I have a video on it. Not a lot of people have built it. Add like Elo, Shilo, everything in there, and people talking to each other, things like these. Notion doc is not available. Answered that one. All right. Cool, guys. We'll call it here. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you guys next week. And hopefully in some offline videos. Bye-bye. Or a lot of more docs. I'll answer a few more, and then I'll call it. Doc 1, Doc 2, Doc 3, Doc 4. Model questions. I'm asking architects, asking the architecture of how do I build this? Like, how can I deploy a model for free? How do I,